The Wolverine MTW Unleashed Series, with the HPA Tank as a stock tube, becomes more and more popular in the airsoft community. And even I got myself a second one, as I really learned to enjoy their potential for using heavy BBs. No matter if it's on the Billet or 308 model, there are a few accessories that are exclusively, or almost exclusively, meant for the Unleashed type of MTWs. In this video, I would like to show you what I think about some of the most effective options out there, and why some of them should be even included right from the factory, if you ask me. Let's check it out. The first upgrade I'd like to show you is something I think every owner of an MTW Unleashed should use, as it is in fact even mandatory on most fields I used to play on. As you probably know, the Unleashed models have the Wraith X Regulators installed right out of the box, which allow you to use the small HPA tanks without an additional hose. Therefore, also the shooting energy is to be adjusted on this Wraith Regulator. It works by turning this little screw clockwise or counterclockwise. On a standard external regulator, the field's marshals have several options to lock the set energy by a seal or zip tie, so it cannot be manipulated during the game after the replica was tested at the chrono. On the Unleashed, however, there is no such option, so we need an additional tool, this 3D printed locking ring. You just put it over the adjustment screw where it is locked automatically because of its design shape. Now you just need a zip tie and you will not be able to adjust the energy anymore without removing it again, so the marshals could catch a cheater easily. Nowadays, those rings are available in several shops and 3D printing communities. I got mine from PT Place in the United Kingdom for not even £3, as it's a very simple but useful product. If you guys from Wolverine watch this by any chance, maybe you could ship your Unleashed MTWs with one of those. I think the additional cost would be minimal, but the value for the player would increase significantly. The second upgrade is one I actually showed you before in one of my previous videos, but it has become so important for me that I didn't want to miss it out here. I'm talking about the 4500 PSI or 300 bar HPA tanks. Those are made of steel and can resist much higher pressure than the standard aluminum tanks that come with the Unleashed from the factory. In combination with the slightly increased capacity, the steel tanks from Pro Air will give you almost double the amount of shots with each filling. A critical improvement in my opinion, even if it's a little more pricey. If you want to learn more about the high pressure tanks, feel free to check out the linked video, in which I compared both type of tanks and also showed you how I used to fill those at home. The third upgrade is more of the aesthetic type, but maybe it also will be a useful inspiration for you. Out of the box, the Unleashed models all come with the same type of buttstock, which is absolutely fine and works as it should. But in case you want some change of the outer appearance and point out the individual character of the airsoft replica, you maybe would like to think about an alternative. There are indeed some proper options out there, mostly coming from the MagFed paintball market. They are not many, but if you do some research, you probably will find something you like. The one you see here is sold by the German webshop of Home Defense 24 for about $30. I asked the shop if they wanted to send me some more of their buttstocks for HPA tanks, but as I did not get a reply, I decided to buy this one with my own money to show you what I think about it. With its simple and minimalistic design, it fits both the 3000 and the 4500 PSI tanks just perfectly, and gives your MTW Unleashed a slim and ergonomic look. One more thing to note is that the Minimalist stock adds some centimeters to the tank stock tube combination, while the original stock offers better adjustment options, as it just slides on and is not attached to the backside. But depending on your personal size and the aiming device you are using, this still can work for you. With this kind of a buttstock, also the label and inscriptions on the tank itself become partly visible. My personal tip is to wrap some fabric insulation tape around the tank, so it looks and feels a lot better afterwards. Installed to my MTW Billet Unleashed, this way it reminds me a little of the retractable buttstock of the HK MP5, although it is not retractable of course. But I think it fits the replica's characteristics very well. In case you want to switch between the buttstocks frequently, because you're using multiple MTWs for example, the original stock will still fit with this mod. The last upgrade on the list is a true Wolverine original that was released in 2024. Originally, the Unleashed MTWs were also meant to be used with small 7.4 volts LiPo batteries, which are needed to operate the solenoid valve inside the Inferno engine. This is still possible of course, if that's what you like, but the battery grip offers you some nice advantages. You see, the LiPo battery got replaced by two 3 volts 123 type batteries, which you can get basically everywhere. Probably you already got some of those at home, for flashlights, optics or similar devices. Instead of disconnecting the small JST type plug after every game to prevent the LiPo from discharging, you just turn off power by the bottom side switch. This not only can be done faster, but also will reduce wear and tear on the internal cables. And there is another big advantage. In order to enter programming mode for the correct dual setting of your MTW, you had to pull the trigger while connecting the plug. This can be done a lot easier with the battery grip. Keep the trigger pulled and turn on the switch. Even with gloves, this should be possible to do. Now you maybe like to ask, why are you not using the battery grip then, if it's so great? Well, that's because on one of my MTWs I'm really in love with one certain kind of style, which comes with the Hera arms leather accessories, including a hollow pistol grip. And because I don't like to have two different kind of battery standards to charge before every game, I decided to go with the classic LiPo solution. But in case the battery grip was developed in this special style, I'd be willing to change immediately. So, it's conclusion time again. In my opinion, especially the tournament lock rings and the 4500 PSI tanks let the MTW Unleashed series really shine and improve the practical value of the Airsoft replica with a notable benefit. In other words, I think I would really miss those if I had to play without them again. For the alternative buttstocks and the battery grip, I think this is a little bit more of a personal question. Which style and energy source do you like more? Do you know more additional parts which are specifically meant for the MTW Unleashed that I missed out here? Feel free to write down your point of view in the comments below. And as always, have a good one.